Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 3. And this is titled The Secret Weapon. So let's talk about it. This is the secret weapon that I believe it will be one of the most impactful episodes that you might hear. And also, there will be a common thread in many episodes to come on this very topic of what I call the secret weapon. I talk about this with in my business a lot, with my organization. I call it the shortcut to success, because it truly is a code breaker, and it truly is a secret or a code to freedom. And so, you guys ready for it? Let's jump right in. So here it is. The Bible says it better than anything. In Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is a principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So, what am I talking about here today? I'm basically talking about what I call personal development, self growth, working on ourselves. One of my mentors that I've never met, but I got lots of mentors I've never met. But he says, work harder on yourself than you do on your business, your job, or your career. And I heard that over 18 years ago, and it has changed everything for me. It has been life changing for me because, as I've said this, I probably already in the first couple episodes, when you get better, everything around you gets better. And so, this whole self growth, personal development journey, for me, it's an obsession now because I realized I've seen it in action. I've seen how, as I grew, I became more capable. I became more, I became more knowledgeable, understood more. I've been able to have more skill sets to, to handle some of the things that come up in life. And so, the one of the reasons why I want to share this with you all is because I find that, like in the organization and the day to day life that I live, it's kind of like the norm. We call our business a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. So, oftentimes we can kind of be in a bubble, if you will, when it comes to that. But I realize that there's so many people. Obviously, not everybody, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't into self growth, self mastery, personal development, right? But there's so many people who are not. And so hopefully, hey, maybe somebody's listening to this on a whim. Maybe you're in the car with somebody, or maybe somebody shared it with you, and it's not something you're used to doing. It's not something that you grew up around, or you've been in a community that enforces it, right? Or really adopts it as a way of thought, a way of thinking. But I promise you, when you get this as a daily habit of just finding ways to get better, finding ways to work on you. And what does that look like? Well, I'm gonna give you 3 areas that you want to kind of do. Well, 3 ways that you could do it. Number one is through books, right? So, I think it was Frederick Douglass who said it, but he said, if you want to hide anything from people, put it in a book. And it is so true because, I mean, think about it. You have someone who has lived and succeeded in some area of life. They wrote about the book, published the book, put it out there, and basically we get a chance to skip those pitfalls by reading their book and figuring out what they did to be successful, so that we can adopt that same level of success, if not even greater. And most people don't even put the value on the book. Now I get it. I mean, I didn't grow up loving to read. I just wasn't that guy. In fact, the funny thing is, I hated reading when I was in school. It wasn't till I got started with my business when I was in college, and it was something that was preached a lot. Is hey, personal development, work on yourself. And so I'm seeing people who had a bigger stack than I did, and if they're saying, "Hey, you should read these books," I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna read the book, right?" But a lot of people are just not in that environment. So number one is read a book because people have put their experiences in the book and they can help you kind of get through life without having to experience some of the failures, the same failures that they had to endure. But then number two is audios. I mean, there's lots of ways. I mean, you're doing it right now. You're listening to a podcast. I can't tell you how many podcasts I listen to when I'm in the car, when I'm doing some stuff around the house, or even sometimes working out, going for a walk, whatever. I'm always finding some kind of opportunity where I can grow. I'm addicted to it. I think I said that already, but it's just exciting for me because see in school they kind of tell you what to learn or what you have to learn, but see here you get a chance to pick what you like to learn, what you like to learn about the things that make you excited. And that's what we get a chance to talk about here is being able to be in control. That's what freedom is. Being able to have the control to choose how and what area you want to grow in. So audios is a great way to do it. Matter of fact, one of my mentors, the one I mentioned earlier, his name is Jim Rohn, by the way. That's Rohn. But he says, the opportunity when your hands are busy, but your mind is free. Why not put it to work on an opportunity where you can grow and listen to something that could help you be better in life, right? So number two, that was audio. Number one was the books, and number two is the audio, and then number three is your associations, who you're around all the time. Like if you, isn't it fascinating that a 3-year old, a 4-year old, or a 5-year old can sometimes speak maybe 3 and 4 different languages, and you might marvel at that. Well, us in America would because most of us speak one language fluently, right? So it's always fascinating when you meet people who can speak not just 2 languages, but 3 or 4 and do it well. Well, oftentimes it's because they grew up in an environment where that was guided, that was a thing, right? So I mean, if you're in that environment where you're learning 2 and 3 different languages as you grow up, it's going to be deeply embedded in your subconscious. It's going to be deeply embedded in who you are, right? So it's just a part of what you do. And so for me, I don't speak multiple languages, right? So that's not something that is a norm for me. But if I were to be, let's just say I was to be in another country for a year, obviously I would pick that language up really quickly just based on my association of being in that environment. So again, those are three things that you can do to start really working on yourself and getting better. And here's the deal: like you can choose different areas. So I do this all the time. And by the way, in some upcoming episodes, we're gonna have some special guests. I don't want to tell you who the first guest is going to be, but I'm excited, so excited about this guest who will be on with me actually this week. But let me just say this: you're going to you may want to have a hyper growth in certain areas. Like maybe you're into working out, maybe you're into weight loss, maybe you're into spirituality, maybe you're into um, relationship. You want to have the best relationship with your kids as possible. You want to be the best parent, or maybe you want to be the best spouse, and you just want a better marriage. Whatever it is, you can find a whole slew of books or audios in that topic, and you can just get better. You can just focus on getting better in that one area. And so try it out, guys. This year, the average CEO reads 50 books. um, that's like a book a week. And no wonder they're at the top of their game. running these big mega companies and stuff like that is because they're constantly pouring information into them. I had this one YouTube video that I did, and if I can give you a visual, imagine a cup of water that's full, and then you have another cup that is half empty, and then you have another cup that's half empty and another cup that's half empty. And if you think about it, let's just imagine that these cups that are half empty, they represent people who they just need more. They need more in life. But then you have that one bottle or one glass that is full, and they start pouring into those other glasses. Guess what? That person that has filled into themselves, poured into themselves, and they're full, now they have more to give to other people. Now they can be more of a blessing to other people because they spent the time to pour into themselves. By the way, there's this other quote that I live by. It says, if you pour your purse into your mind will pour back into your purse. Now, fellas, I didn't forget you. Let's just interchange that with wallet, right? If you pour your wallet into your mind will pour back into your wallet. All it means is if you spend money on getting better, reading books, buying books, audios, even courses, and even coaches. I mean, there's so many different levels of personal development you can take. But if you spend the money to get better, then as you get better, it automatically pours right back into your wallet because now you are more valuable because you have knowledge and understanding on things that maybe so many other people don't because they didn't read those 10 books that you read. They didn't listen to those 20 different podcasts that you listen to on that one subject. They didn't, associate themselves with the people who have that knowledge in that area. So now you become more valuable because you know things other people don't know. Right. And so it's just, it seems like common sense, but it's not something that's often taught. And so I just want to share that with you all as what I call the secret weapon. Because again, as you get better, everything around you gets better. And it's time for us to grow, guys. It's time for us to have a even a regimen when it comes to growth. Like one of my mentors, John C. Maxwell, who one day I will meet in person. I've met him. Well, I've been in his vicinity. I'll just say it that way. But I have not actually physically been able to shake his hand. But that opportunity is going to come. And so, but I tell you, one of the things he says is, do you have a plan for growth? He has this book called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, one of my favorite books that he wrote, and it really talks about that. So I have a plan for growth, and I continue to seek out different things that can help make me better because I want to be better for everybody around me. I want to be a better husband, a better parent, a better businessman. I want to be in the best health of my life. All those things, and that is freedom. And I'll kind of almost end with this. So there's this other book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil. And I know it's an interesting title, right? But one of the things he talks about in that book is drifters. And you have people who kind of go through life and other people kind of suggest things and they kind of go with what other people say, if that makes sense. I guess what I'm saying is many people in life, many people, they don't often think for themselves. They let other people think for them. Like for me, when someone says something, I don't often take it as Bible until I go do my own research on it and I study it out. And by the way, I would even say that about what you're hearing from me. I don't expect you to just take everything that I say as doctrine. Seek it out, study it, learn it, and see if maybe some of what I said may be something good for you, and maybe everything I didn't say was good, right? For you in your life, right? But my point is, I call it eat the fruit and spit out the seeds. But what I'm encouraging you to do is think for yourselves. Have a mindset to seek out knowledge, seek out information, seek out wisdom, and more importantly, above all, seek out understanding so that you can apply those things that you learn, and then you can really grow on a greater level. So listen, I hope you guys really got some value from this. It's been a pleasure. This is the 3rd episode, and this is truly a code to freedom as we're talking about the secret weapon. God bless you all. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.